Hello, welcome to another video in my story. Okay, here we go with my story. I just had explained how I got pregnant with my second daughter, and when I got pregnant with her on spring break, I was pretty sure I was pregnant that spring break, but whenever I went to my doctor's appointment that first week of April, spring break is the last week of March. Sure enough, I was pregnant. And I guess Zach was convinced there's no way it was his. It had to be the guy that I was sleeping with before. And Zach was all, I'm ready to step up and be a dad to another guy's baby, and da-da-da-da-da. I was working at the daycare at the time, and there was this little boy that nobody liked. I had to work in the toddler department because nobody wanted to work in there. But I was really good with the toddlers, and nobody liked this little boy, and he would not take his medicine, and I would get him to take his medicine, and sometimes he would fight with me, but whatever. And it wasn't big time fight. He would fight me, but I would stay calm and be able to keep him calm. And one time, he literally ripped out a patch of my hair. A whole patch of my hair had been ripped out by this little boy. And I looked, and he had, because I've always had long hair, and he had my hair, a whole grip of it. I had never had that much hair of mine come out at once. And I remember the daycare director, her looking at me, and the way that she looked at me was and I was like, it's okay, whatever. And I really didn't mind. It took it years to grow out, but I always remembered that little boy, and I hope that he's doing okay. But oh my goodness, because I was pregnant, and because the two guys that I'd slept with in that cycle happened to be Mark and Zach. So I had to tell Brianna, and I told her, and she took the news really well. She took it really well. She was like, I understand. Thank you for telling me. She was, happy that I was honest with her. And, her and Mark were back together now, I guess she wasn't that upset because they weren't together at the time. And, yeah, her and him were back together, and now her name was on the trailer, because whenever I left in December, I went to the lady, and I made sure that my name was taken off everything. I didn't want to get in trouble at all whenever I went to live with my uncle, and then I was living with Rory, and then, now it's her name on the place, and she's inviting me to move back in with her and Mark, which is crazy. I'm maybe pregnant with his baby. And I do. And I don't sleep with Mark again. And, honestly, I was trying to get back with Zach at the time. I was really focused on having a family with Zach, because that's what he was telling me. I knew that I was pregnant with his baby pretty much. I sat down and talked with Brianna about it, and the timeline and everything, and we were both pretty sure that it was Zach's baby. But the DNA results for my first baby came in, so we met at Zach's mother's house to look at the DNA test results, and he asked me to be there, and I was like, yeah, I'll be there. I would not want to be there if there was a chance that she's not his. There's no way I would have wanted to be there with him and his mother if there was even the slightest little chance that she's not his. I would have been like, no, y'all just tell me, But I was there, and they had already opened them, though, by the time I had gotten there, and it's not like they waited on me or anything like that. But yeah, and they basically, I was like, see, I told you so. And I don't know, I guess I was expecting them to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you are, she is his baby, you're in our family, you're a part of our family now, come in, you're a part of our family. But that's not what was said. They literally slammed the papers down on the kitchen table and said, well, you're a lucky hoe. was like, what? But yeah, I was trying to be with Zach more and more and more. And honestly, at this time in my life, my faith started to fail me. And I was beginning to step away from Christianity, from my current beliefs of God. I always believed in God. I never didn't believe in God. I just was beginning to step away from the Christian God. The Da Vinci Code was very popular at the time, and I had the books, and I was reading through the books, and it was really helping me to step away from my current beliefs of God, and just watching the interaction between Zach and his mother. And, you know, I was living with Zach and his mother for the most part, unless I had to go all the way to College City, which was 2 hours away, and work at the daycare, or, you know, go to class, which I was failing, and I stopped going to class, really. I would just go to work if I was going to do anything. But I was staying with them, and yeah, my faith really started failing. It really was going out, you know. I just was losing faith, and I was feeling like my role is to just be here and be the mother to my daughter and be the best wife that I can to Zach. I didn't think that he would ever marry me or anything like that, but I was like, oh well. And I loved his family. And his brothers would come over with their girlfriends, and they were so nice and kind to me. And they ended up marrying these girls, and his brothers did. And I just love them. And I remember that one night I had made some fried chicken for Zach and his mother. His mother was an RN, so she was working like all the time. And I made some fried chicken, and Zach, you know, he would go throughout the day. I don't know what he would do. Most of the time, you know, he was hunting. I don't know if he was hunting or not. Maybe he's hunting. Okay. So, most of the time, Zach was gone hunting, and, or fishing or something like that. So, I was making fried chicken, and we were eating it for dinner, and, you know, I had my baby girl up in her high chair, and we were eating dinner, and Zach had bitten into his chicken, and a little bit of blood, or a little bit of red juice came out, and he was mad. He was beyond peed-o'd, and it wasn't right away, you know. He was like, he was getting angry, and I was just like, get over it, you know, trying to just dismissing it, I guess. And later that afternoon, he put his hands on me. He grabbed me up, and he hit me, and he was hitting me. And I remember, like, I could take that. I could take it, whatever. He can hit me, whatever. He had never hit me before, really, but I remember my baby girl running up to save me. Like, I needed saving. I didn't need saving, not from a 1-year-old. But I remember her running up, like, Mommy, and I remember the look on her face. I remember all of it, like, just so clear. This is one of my trauma memories, you know. But he turned and grabbed her and threw her. And it was like slow motion for me, you know, like he grabbed her and threw her, and she like flies across the room and hits the wall and slides down, and it's like the power and the force that she hit the wall with. I remember what she looked like, but it was that moment that it clicked in my head. I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. That's it. I'm gone. I'm leaving. And, like, there's no doubt in my mind, I'm leaving. And I'm taking my baby girl, and we're getting out of here. I'm not sure where we're going. I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'm pregnant. But I'm not staying here. I'm not going to have a family with him. This is not going to happen. So that night, you know, I stayed the night with her, and then the next day I started making my plans for how I'm going to get out of here. And that night for dinner, it's funny because I remember the two things that I made, the last two things, was fried chicken and enchiladas. I made some enchiladas, and, yeah, normal day and everything, except for what they didn't know was I was slowly packing my stuff up and getting in my car. And my plan was that night, once everybody was in bed, well, his mom worked night shift, so she was never there in the evenings, but that night, once he was in bed, I was going to get in my car and put my baby girl in my car, and we were going to drive off and maybe go to College City. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But we had ate dinner, and his mom left to go to work, and he didn't go to sleep. He just kept staying up. And then I was like, maybe if I just go lay down, he'll go lay down. So I go lay down around 11:30 at night, and he comes in there and he is like, Misty, my head, it's so bad, and I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, what? I was like, taking aspirin. He's like, I did. I'm like, gonna take the whole bottle. I've taken everything. Took everything. I was like, I don't know what to do. And then, like, he was like writhing in pain. And he, like, strips down. And he goes and he gets in the shower. And he just, like, lets the shower go on. I mean, he's, like, screaming out in pain, and he starts puking, and, I mean, he was just puking everywhere. I was just trying to clean the puke up, because my daughter was trying to play in the puke, and, I didn't know what to do. I had never seen anything like this, and it went on all night long like that. Just screaming, writhing in pain, and I didn't know what to do. I guess I was kind of shocked. Because my mindset was, I'm leaving you. I'm done with you. I'm not going to help you no more. And now you're writhing in pain, and everything that I know to stop the pain is not stopping the pain. What do you do? I was still young at the time. Now I know exactly what to do. But I did not know what to do at that time. And his mom gets home at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it had been all night like that. And I tell her it had been like this all night. And she said, call the ER. That's what you do. When pain is that bad, and you don't know what to do, and you've tried everything that you know to do, you go to the hospital. You call 911. You call the professionals. That's what you do. I didn't know that. And I need to forgive myself for that. But I didn't know. Well, she put him in the car, and she took him straight to the ER, and they took him back to the back, and he had bacterial meningitis on his brain, and he was put into a chemical coma. And I was like, I can't leave him now. Couldn't leave him then. So, the hospital that he was at, my brother happened to be living 3 blocks down the road from the hospital. So I went, and I was staying at my brother's house. And I was going to the hospital pretty much every day. They would let me in the room with him, and I would hold his hand, and he would, like, wake up, and they'd be like, you gotta get out of here. And then after that happened 2-3 times, they were like, you can't go in the room with him, you wake him up, and he doesn't need to wake up. So I was like, okay. I didn't like say, wake up, wake up. I didn't do anything like that. I just would I would go over there and hold his hand and send light and love, and I prayed for him, guys. I did not wish ill on him. It was scary for me. I was scared. I was scared about my babies. Like, meningitis, that's scary. I had to look into it. I didn't know what meningitis was. I looked into it. It's scary. Scary. But I couldn't leave him then. And I was pregnant too. So yeah. It was scary. So that's my story so far, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, you made it to the end of the video. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for watching the whole video. That means so much to me. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this story. And as always, be blessed with love. That's all she got.